I'm on the regular meeting.
And we hear you loud and clear. We don't see you yet though.
Okay, here we go. I hit start video.
It could take a second.
I hear you. The we is you, Maurice, so far. We is thee.
Well, let's hope how's Carmel? Is she going to make it?
I think she was taking a little time off too. Her mic was coming and going a little bit.
Yeah, well, she's stuck in the car. I guess she's waiting for a.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my gosh. We can think of ways to have a problem. Vanover, Tom is here.
Yep.
I'm okay.
There we go. We see you now, Mr. Dank.
Okay, I had a little notice here. Stop video. I didn't do it though.
No, don't stop video.
Okay.
Everything looks good.
All right. There's Howard. Uh-oh. Yes, sir. Yes. You have to cancel out of the old one. And then it should come on. Howard can't get on. Maurice, Howard can't get on the meeting. I got turned away once and then I did it again and it came on. When you see the date, the schedule on the left-hand side, just hit the meeting date. Hit that box and it should put you in.
You want me to resend the invitation?
Maybe to Howard, but he's trying to get it.
Let's see.
It can't hurt.
I gotta find his address.
It's coming on. It'll have the city crest and the CPC, and that's the meeting.
Is he getting in?
You got it? I'm talking. He's got it. You got it?
Great.
Okay. Unmute and talk to us a little bit. No. No.
I don't see him yet.
Here you go. It says Howard Bradley has joined the meeting.
There we go.
Now just make sure your mic is unmuted.
It's muted now.
There you go. You're on.
I'm on.
Howard, you're on.
Yeah.
You're
We can hear you.
Hello.
Okay.
I can see you. I
Okay.
can see Maurice and I can see you in the same box.
Hey, Robert.
Okay. Robert went to get his second cup of coffee.
His second cup.
Did you hear his 5'2" daughter got on a
I did.
590-yard par 5 with a driver and a 5-wood?
And she eagle it?
He's 5'2" and what, 120, 105 pounds?
hmm
But he says
How'd she do?
she has a 270-degree twist,
Uh-huh.
rotation. I can do that in 4 swings, but not one.
Uh-huh. So, me too.
Oh, no, you're pretty loose. Who is passed on has joined the, is that the appellant?
No, that's Patty Aston.
Oh, ooh. Patty,
Good
I'm
morning.
sorry.
Glad I have such wonderful response.
Hey, Pasty, I'm sorry. Okay, and Tom's on?
And Maurice, you know I'm going to do my regular rigmarole that you preempt me on, but thank
Sure.
you. Okay.
Rigmarole. Malarkey's the word now.
Unfortunately, legally required malarkey, sir. Right, Dennis?
Apparently, it's not required at the Board of Zoning Appeals. Lori Wagner never does that.
Whether it's required or not, or whether what's required and what people actually do are separate things.
Now, why do I only have, Patty, you're the only one I have on my screen. Why aren't the other people showing up?
I'm not IT. I have no clue what you're looking at. How do you have, that's probably because I was talking. Did I preempt the City of Cleveland blurb in the middle?
Yeah, you probably don't have grid view turned on.
Yes, there you go. Up next to all the people, there's either a click, you can click either floating panel view or grid view, side-by-side view, video strip view. If you're on an iPad as opposed to a computer, I can't help you how that looks because I don't look at it. Maurice would have to help you.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't have an iPad, so I haven't seen any screenshots of that either. So I'm not sure where that control is.
I know it streams across the top of the page.
I've got a screen across the top of the page with nothing in it. It's a blank white. And Maurice, you're the only picture on the lower left, but I can hear everybody.
It's probably only showing one picture at a time. It's whoever's talking, or talked last if nobody is talking,
Okay.
or whatever crazy algorithm WebEx uses to determine.
You're the default. You're the default face, Maurice.
No, we don't want that.
What's default? We should be. It's time. Where's Robert?
I'm here.
He's here.
I see Rob.
Pat's there.
Robert's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Howard's here. Oh, that's right. The screen does show only the person that's talking.
And Carmela's here.
Can we start? Read the preamble? 9:30, is it not?
Yes.
Yes, hold on a second.
9:32. Thank you.
There it is.
Cleveland Board of Building Standards and Building Appeals, preamble. In compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law under COVID-19 emergency declaration, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raised hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you, and be sure to unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand, clicking on the raise hand icon again, and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Comments?
Thank you, Mr.
I
Chairman.
can- You're going to read this page or not?
Yeah, he's
Nope.
got to read that page.
All
Yo.
meeting, additional comments. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube and TV20 for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out that we are not live streaming on TV20 anymore, but we are currently streaming on YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. Mr. Chairman, Patricia McGinty Aston for the City of Cleveland Law Department. The city will object to the use of the chat function as it has each time based upon guidelines posted by the Supreme Court on public hearings. Thank you.
Noted. Ms. Aston, are you? Ms. Davis?
Call the
Are
roll.
you? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Here.
Mr. Bradley,
Here.
Mr. Dank,
Yeah, here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Board of Building Standards meeting of October 28, 2020 is now in session. First docket A920, 4016 Muriel Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance. Issued December 11th, 2019. Appellant is requesting for 12 months to complete abatement of the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patty Aston, Law. Is the appellant for docket A9-20 present? Please make yourself noted now.
A920,
We have
George.
no hands raised. Oh, now we have Ms. Aston with her hand raised.
Ms. Aston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Patricia McGinty Aston on behalf of the City of Cleveland Law Department, if I may, regarding service. Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Davis, has the board's notice of today's public hearing been returned to the board's file for any reason whatsoever?
No.
And Ms. Davis, has the board received either phone call or email regarding this matter from the appellant or any on behalf of anybody on behalf of the appellant? You didn't get a call or an email on this?
We will proceed with the docket
Well, Mr. Chairman, she's just going to verify. I think she's just double checking her email. If you could give her just a few seconds here.
It's a pretty good looking house.
It is.
No,
Yes.
proceed.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, based upon Ms. Davis's testimony to this board, notice has not been returned, and the board has properly notified the appellant of today's public hearing. So you do have due process, notice, and opportunity to be heard, so you can proceed. Thank you.
We will proceed with the docket. Solemnly swear or affirm the comments you are about to make are the truth, the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
Mr. Vanover, do you have comments on this?
So, Mr. Chairman, if we can back up one slide. One more. you can see that, I mean, it's a nice looking house comparatively speaking, but there's still many problems with it. These are just a list of some of them. You know, the door is broken, the missing siding. It is exterior maintenance that is required to be maintained. The driveway needs repair, and there's, you know, issues with the gutter. And then if we can scroll to the pictures, you'll see.
Oh, the driveway, yes.
Well, it's the driveway, it's the gutters, you can see there's some siding issues, the front door, you know, that needs, repairs. And this is from almost a year ago.
Yes, right. It's December 11th, 2019 was the citation. And we're just going into winter. Does that preclude a driveway repair? If we, should we, Mr. Vanover, we could use a suggestion. Is 6 months?
Mr. Chairman, they've had their 6 months. I mean, I understand COVID, but the reality is, you know, this is in a neighborhood somewhere, and I'm going to say it again. They should have maintained it all along.
Well,
But the fact that now we're going into winter, when this was issued, we were going into winter, and then we came out of winter, and then we had spring, and then we had summer, and then we had early fall, and now we're going into winter again.
and it's probably a rental, is it? Because it's a
I'm about to
two-family
ask,
residence.
is it a rental?
Mr. Chairman, we have Mr. Gallagher with his hand raised.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I recommend that we remand this case back to the city.
With the, what? Okay. Forthwith. A motion is in order to deny the request for additional time and to remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for supervision and any required further action. Motion so in order.
So move.
Second,
Mr. Maskey, motion by Mr. Maskey, second by Mr. Gallagher. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
I got a tow truck coming. Thank you. Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dank,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
yes.
Next docket, A1020, 1353 East 111th Street.
Mr. Chairman, we have Miss Aston.
Miss Aston.
Before you proceed, are the appellants on? Because they tried to reach Building and Housing yesterday and we referred them to Ms. Davis.
We have Denola Phillips with her hand raised. Is that the
Okay,
applicant?
yeah, I think that's the person. Thank you, because they reached out to Building and Housing and I wanted to make sure they were heard about. I don't want to speak for them, but thank you.
Okay, so they're
Thank you.
present.
Thank you. Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is exterior maintenance issued December 4th, 2019. Appellant requested until July 2020 to complete abatement of the violations. The appellant had also submitted documentation of various contracts, a signed contract agreement, as well as an estimate. Present for the hearing is Tom Vanover, Building and Housing. Patricia Ashton, Law. The appellant, will you please announce yourself so you can be sworn in?
Good morning, Denola Phillips for the premises 1353.
Solemnly swear or affirm the comments you're about to make are the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
We have notification that you have obtained all your permits. Is that, you can tell us what your plans are. It sounds like you're prepared.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back in of 2019, I entered into a contract siding. For the siding and the gutters, have already repaired the porch, the high grass. It was not until July of this year that Joseph Siding reneged on the contract. I immediately obtained Garfield Siding and have had communications with their manager, who has indicated that the material has been ordered. And I reached out to him for the last 3 weeks in regards to a start date They are fully aware of these violations, and they have indicated that the city may reach out to them to confirm that we do have an active contract and that they will be doing the work at the premises. I know I originally requested.
Your microphone went off. Ms. Phillips, your microphone isn't, we're not hearing you. Mr. Rulons, can you do something about this?
No, she's not muted. She might have lost her connection.
Okay.
I would go on to Mr. Vanover until she comes back on, Joe.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vanover, comments?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if there's permits in place, and a start date, we don't object to more time. I just didn't, fortunately, we didn't get a chance. It looks like she's muted now, to find out what date that is she's requesting.
She just raised her hand, so she must be. Ms. Phillips, can you speak now?
Yes, I apologize. There was an issue with the internet connection. We do have a contract in place. I've reached out to Garfield for the anticipated start date. I hope to have an answer to them by the end of the week. If the city could allow to the end of the year in case there are further delays, I would greatly appreciate such.
Mr. Vanover, if we remanded this to the Division of Building and Housing, would that, you could handle that from there and adjust the required date? How would you like to have this done?
So, Mr. Chairman, to the appellate, has Garfield Siding pulled a new permit?
Yes, it is my understanding, and I believe I provided an email from the building or the manager for Garfield, in which it has been indicated to me that they already pulled the permit or they submitted the paperwork for the permit.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that I believe, and again, you broke up there a little bit. Did you ask till the end of the year? Is that what you asked for?
Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, we don't object to January 1st, 2021 to abate the violations.
Okay, a motion is in order to grant the appellant until January 1st, 2021 to complete abatement of the violations. Motion so in order.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bradley. Second by Mr. Gallagher. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dink,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
Thank you all. Next docket, A1120 4717 Bidoff Road. Mr. Vanover, do you have a comment on this docket?
Well, you want me to introduce it first?
Let's introduce the docket. I'm sorry. 4717 Bidoff Avenue.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation. Wait a minute, bit off. Oh, this one has been withdrawn.
Yeah.
Yes, it's noted withdrawn.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Aston has her hand raised.
Ms. Aston.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Tricia McGinty asking on behalf of the city of Cleveland. If it's withdrawn, it's no longer before the board, so you don't have to, you can note it, it's withdrawn. The appeal no longer is pending before the board. They basically dismissed it.
Okay. For the record, the docket A1120 has been withdrawn. There'll be no action by the board. Next docket, A1220 4776 East 176th Street.
Application and fees are in order. Is condemnation of the main structure. Issued January 9th, 2020. Appellant requested time to complete and abate the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law, The appellant has been properly notified and has not responded.
We,
Mr. Chairman, if you want to swear in Mr. Vanover, and then I'll ask my question.
yes, yeah. Solemnly swear or affirm the comments you're about to make are the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. Mr. Vanover.
You're muted, sir. Oh, good.
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Ms. Davis, was the notice of today's WebEx public hearing returned to the board's file for any reason?
Who was that addressed to?
To
No.
Ms. Davis.
Oh,
Thank you, Ms. Davis. And did you receive any voicemail or email regarding this matter from the appellant or anyone on behalf of the appellant regarding this?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. So, Mr. Chairman, the notice has not been returned. The appellant was properly notified of the hearing set for today via WebEx. The board does have proper due process notice and opportunity to be heard to proceed. Thank you.
we will proceed with the docket. Solemnly swear or affirm the comments you're about to make are the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
You do.
Okay. Mr.
Right.
Vanover?
I already did that. Mr. Chairman, we ask
No.
that you deny any more time and remand this back to the Department of Building and Housing. This property has been raised, and Ms. Davis, I apologize. I was late in getting the status because the inspector felt that because it was raised, that she didn't need to provide a status. So I do have photographs. This property has been raised under permit. What I'm unclear of right now is whether it was raised privately or whether it was through our municipal demolition. Either way, the abatement, the nuisance has been abated as far as this board is concerned. So we would ask that you deny more time and remand it back to us.
All right. Comments by board members? Agreement. A motion is in order to deny the request for additional time and to remand the property to the Division of Building and Housing for supervision and any required further action. Motion so in order.
So move.
Motion, Mr. Gallagher.
That's not Gallagher.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
Second by whom?
Mr. Maskey.
Mr. Maskey. Call the roll. Ms. Davis, call the roll, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now we can.
Sir. Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Utley,
Yes.
Mr. Bank,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
Thank you. Next docket. A 1320, 2038 West 95th Street.
Application notice of violation is fire damage issued February 7, 2020. Appellant is requesting for 1 year to complete abatement of the violations. Present for the hearing, Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law. And is the appellant, please announce yourself now.
The appellant is listed as Zamar Koyani. Do we have an appellant for docket for the 2038 West 95th Street? Apparently not.
Mr. Dank, Miss Aston.
Miss Aston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So to Ms. Davis, was today's notice of public hearing via WebEx returned to the board's file for any reason?
No, the notices were not returned.
Thank you. And did you receive a phone call or voicemail regarding this matter?
No, I have not.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Mr. Chairman, based upon Ms. Davis's testimony to the board has proper notice to this appellant and can proceed. Thank you. I defer to Mr. Vanover.
solemnly swear or affirm the comments you're about to make are the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
The photographs indicate a house in very poor repair. Can you add, more photographs of very poor repair?
There was a fire, Mr. Chairman.
Uh-huh. We have had no contact from the appellant other than to apply for a hearing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Vanover, you would recommend denial of additional time and remanding the property to your department, correct?
I would, Mr. Chairman. I mean, according to our inspector, there's been no progress. They asked for a year from January 7th, so we're 9 months into that. So we would ask that you deny it and remand it back to us.
A motion is in order to find that the violation notice was properly issued based upon photographic evidence and comments, and the incident of fire damage. The property is remanded, additional time is denied. The property is remanded to the Division of Building and Housing for supervision and any required further action. Motion so in order.
So move.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Bradley, second on Mr. Maskey. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Dank,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes.
Next docket, A 1920, 18324 Reese Road.
Application and fees are in order. Notice of violation is hazardous conditions and condemnation of the garage. Dated December 19, 2019. Appellant is requesting for time to complete abatement of the violation. Present for the hearing is Tom Vanover, Building and Housing, Patricia Ashton, Law, and Terry Tisch, owner.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Solemnly swear or affirm the comments you're about to make are the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
May we hear from the appellant? Mr. Tisch? Oh,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Tisch.
No, it's Mr.
Okay. What are your plans?
My plan is to take down my garage and build a new one, and to paint my house and get windows. The original reason why I asked for time was because winter was coming on. And then came the pandemic, and I've been unemployed for almost 8 months now. However, I have applications all over town, and my cleaning company is coming back, unfortunately slowly, but coming back. And I plan on taking all proceeds and putting them towards the house. May I please have an additional 6 months to satisfy all parties concerned?
Mr. Vanover, there's comments from the city?
So, Mr. Chairman, I believe this is, this is a condemnation of the garage and the house.
Yeah, I concede the fact that the garage is, gotta go. I understand that totally 100%.
So this would require full permits, building, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing for the house as well. We don't object to more time, but I would like a short period of time to get the permits for the work involved. Understanding that the house is condemned as well, so you'll need all 4 permits on the house to do that work.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Aston?
Miss Aston? You have a
Thank you,
comment?
Mr. Chairman. Just for note for the record, it appears that the main structure has a hazardous condition, not a condemnation. At least the copy I have for A1920. And Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, do you live at this property?
Yes,
Okay, and have you been in contact with Mr. Shockley, who was the sighting inspector?
I believe I met the gentleman 2 weeks ago. I don't have his card on me at the moment.
Okay, so I don't want to be presumptuous, but Mr. Chairman, to the appellant, are you over 60?
I am 60, I'm gonna be 62 come November
Okay.
30th.
Which might explain why it's Mr. Shockley. It's listed as senior initiative. So I just, for the record, Mr. Chairman, the copy I have that was forwarded to me lists the hazardous conditions, and I will defer to Mr. Vanover. That may still require the permits, given what might need to be done, but the copy I'm looking at was a hazardous condition for the main structure and the condemnation of the garage. Thank you.
That was the
Thank you.
question, is that, what is the hazardous condition? And is it, are you living in the property at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the hazardous condition that,
My front porch floor needs to be repaired. It's about 6 by 6.
picture we have, of the, it's a small porch.
It's just the floor, yes, sir. Your Honor.
What, Mr.
I
Bennett,
could
you
get
have
that,
comments
I
on
could
that?
get that done before Christmas easily, or even Thanksgiving.
So I apologize. I'm having trouble pulling up the violation notice. To list that would list it. And Ms. Aston, you are correct. It's not a condemnation on the house. It's a hazardous condition. Which is, hazardous condition is issued in houses that have issues where there's an expectation that there may be some assistance from our senior initiative. They're precluded from helping on anything that is condemned. So that being said, I believe it's more than just the porch. I think that there was some issues with overloaded contents inside and some trash problems. Inspector Shockley,
They don't pick up my garbage. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Say it again, Mr. Tisch, say it again. Repeat yourself.
I apologize for interrupting. They have not issued myself a garbage can with their new trash removal.
okay, Mr.
I heard
Shockley.
they attached that to the water department, and the mayor, Jackson, said he was gonna turn our water back on, but I have not received either my water turned back on or a garbage can.
Mr. Chairman to Mr. Tisch, is there power to this house?
Yes, sir.
Is there
CPP.
gas?
No, sir. There's Cleveland Public Power. I heat the house with electricity.
Okay. But there's no water.
Not at the
Correct.
moment, sir. I haven't worked since March 15th.
Mr. Chairman, we have Ms. Aston again.
Ms. Aston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know on the city's website, the water department's website, we are under a moratorium. I actually just talked to somebody about this yesterday. Mr. Tisch can call the water department's main line and ask about how to go about getting that service looked at. I don't know if there's other issues besides non-payment, but there is a turn-off moratorium based upon COVID that's been all year, at least the last 6 months or so. And I talked to somebody, he can call the customer service main phone line, and they will get him to where he needs to be. That's what I was advised yesterday when I asked for somebody else.
Thank you. I will do that immediately.
As a suggestion, we give December 1st as the date for the cleanup of the hazardous condition presented by the trash. Is that a correct comment, Mr. Vanover?
Yeah, the collection of the trash and the water's got to be back on.
And then, that's right, and we'll, and the water is to be turned on by December 1st.
Mr. Dank, we have Mr. Gallagher.
Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, yeah, I believe that we can, whatever permits have to be pulled, along with what you've said, and I think also, Ackley is working with him, that should help the whole situation out also, so that, whatever he needs, he might be able to get further assistance to help him along till he gets rolling again. He was asking for 6 months, to take care of what needs to be taken care of. As long as the city doesn't have any heartburn with that, I think we should go with that and let Mr. Shockley do his thing also.
But what about getting, give him 1 month for the water and the trash?
Sure, that's
Okay.
fine.
Motion is ordered to grant the appellant until December 1st, 2020 to abate the debris and trash condition and obtain the water, the supply of water, and until May 1st, 2021 to complete abatement of the other violations. Motion so
Thank
ordered.
you. Thank you, Your Honor.
So moved.
Thank you.
Yep. Who,
Second.
motion by Mr. Gallagher, second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dank. Call the roll, please. Mr. Maskey seconded. Call the roll, please. Ms. Davis. Call the roll, Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley,
Mr. Bradley, you're muted.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes.
I heard him. Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
and Mr. Dank, yes. That completes the violation notice action. Next item of business, approval of resolutions of October 14th, 2020. The following resolutions. A120, A220, A320, A420, A620, and A820. Any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Maskey.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Gallagher. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mr. Dank.
Yes. Next item, approval of the minutes of the October 14th meeting. Any additions or corrections?
No.
Motion for approval as submitted.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gallagher.
Second.
Second, Mr. Maskey. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Maskey,
Yes.
Mr. Bradley,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mr. Dank.
Yes. Any further official business? Hearing none, the meeting is
No.
adjourned. Thank you all. Have a good, everybody remember to vote.
Yes. Mr. Vanover? Mr. Vanover?
Mr.
Can you hear
Vanover
me?
must, is Mr. Vanover still present, Ms. Davis?